2015 meeting of the Irondequoit Town Board to order and ask all those in attendance to please join me and rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call. Councilwoman Barnum.
Present.
Councilman Perticone.
Here.
Councilman Seeley. Supervisor Bello.
Here.
And attorney for the town.
Here.
Thank you.
Barbara?
Item for board action. Item 6A, 2015-0, filling a town board vacancy.
Can I have a motion?
So moved.
And a second?
Second.
Thank you. As you know, at last month's town board meeting, council member Irina Skrobach announced that she would be stepping down from the town board, and I had indicated at the time that the town board would be considering an appointment at this month's town board meeting. And tonight, I'm extraordinarily happy to announce and put forward a resolution appointing Nicole Hushla-Ray to fill the vacancy on the Irondequoit Town Board. Nicole has lived in Irondequoit for almost her entire life, growing up in East Irondequoit in the Ridge Culver neighborhood and a 2001 graduate of East Ridge High School. After attending SUNY Cortland, she proudly chose to stay here in the community that she had grown up in. Nicole is a well-known and active member of our community. She is a volunteer with the Ridge Culver Fire Department. She's volunteered for the Flower City Habitat for Humanity, the Wounded Warrior Foundation, and many other nonprofits in our area. Nicole brings a government experience to the board, having worked with members of Congress and served as an advisor to several statewide elected officials. Her passion and dedication to the town of Irondequoit will make her a natural fit to join this board. Nicole understands the value of what it means to grow up here and then choose to make Irondequoit your home for the rest of your life. And that's emblematic, I think, of our town's motto, a town for a lifetime. Irondequoit is a place that I truly believe can be all things to all people. And whether you're one of the younger residents looking for fun, recreational opportunities, perhaps finding a place to start and grow your family, or if you're living out your golden years, we have something for everyone. And it's that point of view that guides how we as a town board approach the issues that come before us. And so we're excited to have Nicole join our team, and I'm confident that she's going to bring a fresh perspective to her work in meeting our goals on behalf of all of our town residents and carry out the mission and the commitments that we've made. So it brings me nothing but good pleasure to put forth the nomination of Nicole Hushla-Ray to fill the vacancy on the town board. Anybody have anything else to add? All right, seeing none, I'd ask for all those in favor to say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Congratulations, Nicole. And so now what I'd like to ask us to do is I'll ask the board, actually everybody on the dais here, if we could just come on down to the side. And I'm going to ask Chief Scott Zapatori from the Ridge Culver Fire Department is going to do the honors of swearing in Nicole, our newest town board member. And Nicole is going to be joined by her husband, Justin Ray, who's going to hold the Bible. So if you guys want to come forward and everybody join me down on the floor. Actually, if you guys want to go, just go right on TV. So we can get you right on TV. I, Nicole Hushla-Ray. Do solemnly swear. That I will support the Constitution of the United States. And the Constitution of the State of New York. And that I will faithfully discharge the duties of town board member June 18, 2015 to December 31st, 2015.
June 18th, 2015 to December 31st, 2015.
According to the best of my ability.
According to the best of my ability.
Go ahead, sign your oath.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. Welcome aboard. And now as, you have a couple words you're going to say. I'm sorry.
I do.
I almost stole it there.
Thank you, Chief Zampatori, for being here and doing me the honor of participating in tonight's ceremony. And thank you to my husband, Justin, for always putting up with me with a smile and for being my unwavering support system in all that I do. I am beyond humbled and honored to accept the appointment to Irondequoit Town Board from Supervisor Bello. Adam, John, Lori, and Dave, thank you so much for the opportunity to serve my hometown on a new level. And thank you for your faith in my ability to match the hard work, dedication, and progress you've all brought to your positions. Over the last few years, town residents, including myself, have witnessed a paradigm shift in Irondequoit. A shift in a positive direction that continues to reinvigorate our community and impress our neighbors in surrounding towns. From driving much-needed economic growth with developments like the incredible I-Square, to a state-of-the-art new library that brings East and West together, to making long-anticipated headway with the Medley Center and ending its immense financial burden on our taxpayers. None of this would have come to fruition without Supervisor Bello and the board members. So thank you. Thank you for your inspirational leadership. I am thrilled to be joining your efforts to make our Irondequoit a better place to live, work, and watch our children and grandchildren grow and flourish. Thank you so much.
All right. And now, Nicole, come on up. Now is one of your, you don't get to sit down anymore. Now your first official act on the town board is going to be to do one of my favorite things, which is present our Good Neighbor Award. And so every month, as you know, we hand out, it's a new tradition here in Irondequoit, is to hand out a Good Neighbor Award to someone who goes above and beyond to make their neighborhood a wonderful place to live. And the nominations for this month's Good Neighbor Award contain some of the most heartfelt and thoughtful stories that really, actually, in a way, it actually kind of made me feel like I was a member of the neighborhood myself. It was these were really fantastic stories, and there was really no question in our mind, I think, this month who the recipient was going to be. And so to start off, I'm going to ask some fine folks from the neighborhood to come on in and help me in making this nomination. Come on in, guys, and come right up here to the front. For the month of June, our good neighbors have been described as phenomenal neighbors to your Briarwood family. From snow plowing your neighbors' driveways and helping with home repairs to hosting block parties and Easter egg hunts, you should know how important you are to your friends and neighbors. My favorite story about your kindness was from a new member who had just given birth to her son. Not only did you leave a bundt cake and cookies for the family's mailbox, but you also brought over pizza once these new parents arrived home with their newborn son. As the parent of two small kids myself, I could tell you firsthand just really how awesome that is when someone brings you something like that. But not many residents are blessed to have such considerate and compassionate neighbors. Tony and Annette Madaleno, you are the quintessential good neighbors. Thank you for all of your thoughtful gestures and for taking such good care of your Briarwood neighbors. Please come up and accept your certificate and our gratitude for all that you do. Come on over. Tony and Annette, on behalf of the town board and the entire town of Irondequoit, I hereby proclaim you to be our good neighbors. Congratulations. All right, let's just have your neighbors to take a picture. Come on, guys. Surprise? Shouldn't be a surprise. Awesome. We take a group picture? Let's all like this on in. Everybody, you guys, right up front. Yep. Let's get the little ones right up front. Oh, you're heading for it. Congratulations. Hey, thank you guys. Thanks for everything you're doing out there. So, hey, nice to see you guys. All right, you're welcome. Yeah. Thanks for coming tonight. All right. What's next? Is it Randy? Yes. All right, we'll go back up top. Okay. All right. The next item on our agenda is the annual presentation of the audit of the town's funds. And so tonight joining us is Randy Shepard from Bonadeo, the town's new auditing firm, who is going to give a brief overview and presentation of the town's financial audit from 2014. So, Randy, come on forward. Oh, is the screen coming down? Yes. All right.
Okay.
Then I guess we'll go right back down. Okay. All right.
Thank you, Town Board, for having me. That's kind of a tough thing to follow. It's a little less exciting than the Good Neighbor Award, but anyway, I'm going to give you the Good Town Award, I guess, is what I'm going to do right now. So again, I'm Randy Shepard. I'm with Bonadeo and Company. We're the external auditors for the town of Irondequoit. And essentially, as an overview of kind of what we're hired to do for the town, essentially you hire us to form an opinion on whether your financial statements are fairly presented. Again, that's very important because the financial statements account for all the activities of the town, your tax revenues, et cetera. And we also want to make sure that the internal controls over those activities are sound and in good shape, and we do look at that. We're pleased to report that we did not have any areas that we identified as weaknesses in the town's control structure, so that's very important to note. And then also what we do in terms of the financial statements is we issue an opinion, and that opinion was what's called an unmodified opinion, and that's a clean audit opinion, which is the highest level of assurance that an auditor can give to a town's financial statement. So that's a very good news for you there. We'll just talk through a couple highlights for you without going into too much detail. These numbers represent, and the spacing is off a little bit there, I apologize, represent the overall net position of the town, which is all of its assets, its infrastructure, buildings, roads, et cetera, less whatever debts associated with that, and that value is about 19, just under 20 million. We've got certain portions of net position which are restricted for certain purposes, and then the balance of that 6.3 million represents what's called unrestricted net position. In terms of your revenues and where it comes in from, about 22 million or 71% of it is your general revenues, so your mortgage tax, sales tax, et cetera. And then the remaining revenues represent the other 29%, charges for services, fees, fines, licenses, permits, that type of thing, as well as various operating and capital grants. Looking at the town's governmental funds, so the general fund, highway, sewer, et cetera, these are what are the fund balances of those funds, and total about 7.2 million. The largest piece of it being what's called assigned fund balance, which are money set aside for the self-insurance fund, highway fund, sewer, and a few of those. Non-spendable fund balance represents essentially prepaid expenses. Then the balance represents those funds that are just unassigned and available for future appropriation by the town, et cetera, to help lower tax rates and whatever other things that may come up from a contingency perspective throughout the year. This might be a little small up there, but it's a 3-year presentation. Again, I won't go into a lot of detail here. We did review this in great detail with the town last week during the session. What I will point out is, the biggest item this year in terms of the governmental funds were some bans, which is down in that lower third. Bond anticipation notes that were issued for the library that's going up next door here. So they issue some short-term debt to finance that construction. Once that's done, they'll turn that into long-term borrowing going forward. This next slide, again, which is a little bit small, but represents the revenues and expenditures of the town and a 3-year history. third line up from the bottom, it shows a $4.6 million negative change in fund balance, again representing the cost associated with that library as it's coming in and being constructed. Once that is turned over to long-term financing, there'll be revenues that offset that deficit, so it's more of a timing issue for the town, nothing to be concerned about. Graphical format, sometimes a little bit easier to see. 3-year history of revenues, your budget versus actual. The good news here is you've been able to surpass your budget estimates the past 3 years from a revenue side, which is very, very positive. Same thing on the expenditures, is you've been able to come in under budget the past 3 years from the town's perspective. So they're able to manage those costs throughout the year, which is often difficult, especially with some of the winters we've had and some of the snow plowing that goes on. But the good news is you've been able to stay under that over the past 3 years as well. Looking at the actual revenues and expenses, you can see the blue being the revenues, the red is expenditures. Your revenues in 2014 were slightly ahead of where you were in 2013, and your expenditures increased a little bit over 14 as well, but as you saw in those previous slides, well within your budgeted expectations, so that's a positive for you. This slide here represents essentially your change in fund balance, so how much of your excess over revenues and expenditures went in to support your fund balance over the past 3 years. That it indicates the use of fund balance a little bit too as you try to balance the needs of the taxpayers. But the good news is you've had positive changes in fund balance each of the past 3 years. And then here is your actual balance or level of fund balance for each of those years. So those increases we saw on the previous slide are what drive these graphs going up from right to left. And at the end of the year, your fund balance in the general fund was about $4.7 million. And then just a couple highlights on the remaining funds. In your highway fund, which is one of the other ones that you focus on, your fund balance is about $564,000 at the end of 2014, with a slight decrease in revenues as well as a slight decrease in expenses for the year. And then lastly, your sewer fund has a fund balance of about $2.3 million, which was an increase of about $500,000 from 2013. And a combination of revenues decreasing as well as expenditures decreasing for the year, and essentially that pretty much covers it. From my perspective, again, I do want to thank the management of the town for helping us throughout our process. It did go very well, and again, I think that'll cover it. Thank you. You don't have to clap for me.
All right, if you just bear with us for 1 minute while we rearrange the room. Thanks, Nate. All right, thank you, Randy, for that presentation. And I also want to thank, before we move on to the public input, I do want to give a very heartfelt thanks to Annie Seeley, our comptroller, and her entire staff, Diana, Rick, Tony, all our department heads, for really, in the town board, for their due diligence in monitoring our expenses, our revenues, making sure we're staying not only within our budget, but staying under budget in our expenses, and doing a good job conservatively budgeting our revenues. I think that our audit was a real positive sign of how the town's finances are being managed, and really, speaks again to the Moody's increase that we had earlier this year, the rating increase that the town had. So, again, my hats are off to the comptroller, your staff, and all our department heads for just doing a fantastic job.
Here.
So,
Well done.
Very good.
so thank you. Next item on our agenda is public input. I didn't see anybody signed up to speak. Was there anybody here who wanted an opportunity to address the board but did not have an opportunity to sign up? No? Okay. All right. Seeing none, we'll move on to the financial report.
The 2015 financial results for the town as of May 31st. Total expenditures and encumbrances are $14,294,000, 44.1% of budget, and that's only slightly higher than the 41.7% of the year that has elapsed. However, the actual expenditures of $12,146,000 are below the percent of the year that has elapsed at 37.5% of budget. The remaining $2,148,000 of encumbrances account for 6.6%. The level of encumbrance activity is typical throughout early in the year as the departments continue to commit to commodities, supplies, and services that will be needed throughout the year. The general fund expenses are within 0.5% of budget, 42.1%, or $8,036,000. Those expenditures are segregated as follows: encumbrances $917,000, and actual expenditures $7,119,000. The actual expenditures in the general fund compare favorably to the budget at 37.3%. Jointly, the highway fund expenses are $3,526,000, 64% of budget. The percent is above the percent of the year that has elapsed. The high cost of labor, benefits, and salt for snow removal activity remain apparent in Highway 4. Encumbrances for gas, fuel, asphalt, debt service, equipment parts, and vehicle maintenance are also evident in the highway funds. Expenses of other major funds are below the percent of the year that has elapsed. The library expenditures are 38.1% of budget, $754,000. The sewer funds expenses are 35.5% of budget, a total of $1,403,000. Stormwater drainage is also under budget at 18.2%. $148,000 is the current expenditures there. $11,957,000, or 63.2% of the general fund's revenue has been received to date. Included in that year-to-date revenue is 100% of the tax revenue, $10,592,000, and $154,000 of pilot payments, payment in lieu of taxes. It's still early in the year, so most of the major revenue sources have not been realized. $390,000 of sales tax is in. That's 10% of that budget, and it represents just 2 months of revenue. Recreation program fees are $155,000, 49% of budget. That's higher than the percent of the year that has elapsed. So they are operating favorably. Regarding the entire town, 73.2% of revenue, or $23.6 million, has been received to date. All of the town's taxes are in, $16.5 million across all funds. The library has received $1,869,000, 94.6% of budget. The highways revenue is $4,640,000, 84.5% of that revenue. Sewer has received $3.9 million, 99.8% of budget. This concludes my financial report for the month of May.
Thanks, Annie. Did anybody have any questions or any comments about the financial report? Seeing none, I ask for a motion to approve the report.
Moved.
And a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Approval of minutes, May 7th, 2015, Special Town Board Meeting, Public Hearings.
So moved.
Second.
Any questions or comments? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
And we have
Abstain.
one abstention. Motion carries.
May 14th, 2015, the workshop meeting.
Can I have a motion?
Moved.
Second.
Actually, Lori, can you move this?
I'll move, yeah.
And John seconds.
Second.
Any questions or comments? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
And there's one abstention.
May 21st, 2015, regular Town Board meeting.
Moved.
Second.
Any questions or comments? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
There's one abstention.
Items for board action. Item 1, authorizing the award of one 2015 or newer model year split drum asphalt roller.
Can I have a motion?
Moved.
And a second?
Second.
Thank you. Bob Kiley, our Deputy Director of Public Works, can you give a brief explanation of the resolution?
Yes, sir. This resolution authorizes the sole responsible bidder for a bid that we put out for a new 10-ton roller. That responsible bidder, lowest responsible bidder, was Monroe Tractor and Implement Company at a cost of $128,250. Our current 10-ton roller is an aging piece of equipment, and we will sell that at auction once we receive the new roller.
Great, thank you. Any questions, further questions or comments? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Item number 2, awarding the Somerville Phase 2 Sidewalk Replacement Program.
Can I have a motion?
Moved.
And a second.
Second.
Thank you. Bob?
Yes, sir. This authorizes the bid, the award for the Somerville Phase 2 Sidewalk Replacement Program in Somerville, and that is along Center Terrace, Somerville Terrace, and Parkview Terrace. We are replacing approximately 2,300 lineal feet of sidewalks. Old 4-foot non-ADA accessible sidewalks will be replaced with 5-foot ADA accessible. And that bid, the lowest responsible bidder was Hines Concrete, who we have worked with in the past, in the amount of $74,819.
Great, thanks, Bob. And this is part of that major project that's been going on, started last year, and that I think is having a great impact on the neighborhood up in Somerville. It was a long time coming, and I think is a great thing for the residents up there. So thank you guys for your hard work. Any other questions or comments from the board? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes.
Item number 3, awarding the Pine Grove Senior Center parking lot improvements flat work.
Can I have a motion?
Moved.
In a second?
Second.
Thank you. Bob?
Yes, sir. This bid went out for the flat work, all of the concrete work to be done in Phase 1 of the Pine Grove Senior Center restoration project. And as part of this bid package, we also put in the curb work for Phase 2. There were several responsible bidders. The lowest responsible bidder was Genesee Building Restoration Company. This company actually did the curbing work for Phase 1, so they're familiar with the project, and they'll be doing the flat work and curbing for Phase 2.
Great, thanks, Bob. And this is now another step forward in the project that if you've been over near the Pine Grove Senior Center parking lot, you can see it's undergoing a major renovation. This was something that was promised to our residents a number of years ago, and the town board finally fulfilled that promise last year by putting the funding in place to do this. And it's as you'll see the improvements there when you drive by, and you can see it. we talked about during the State of the Town, really has a great way of reconfiguring the parking lot to make it safer, make the traffic flow better, adds a few parking spots, and also adds a nice new park feature to the senior center to give some new outdoor opportunities to our residents there as well. So this is a great enhancement to a parking lot that I think was aged and really needed some repairs to it. Any other questions or comments about the resolution? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes.
Item number 4, accepting gifts for the Arundecoit Farmers Market.
So moved.
Motion?
Second.
Great, thank you. This resolution allows the town board to accept gifts that were made for the Arundecoit Farmers Market. As you know, the Farmers Market has started. I think we're in our third week this week. It's every Thursday night from 4 o'clock to 8 o'clock with entertainment under the gazebo as well, with bands performing each week. And actually at the end of the board meeting, I'll go over some of the details about bands that are playing in the next couple weeks before the next town board meeting. But the Farmers Market really would not be as successful if it weren't for the folks who have made these generous donations to the town. And so I want to recognize them tonight while we vote to accept their donations. They are Harrima's Marketplace, the ESL Federal Credit Union, Edward Jones Investments, Arundecoit Pediatrics, Stepping Stones Learning Center, and LA Fitness. So big thank you to all of those who contributed to make the Farmers Market a smashing success. I know last week our numbers were well over 1,500, I think, attended the Farmers Market, which is really approaching some record-breaking attendance. So if you haven't been, please check it out. Any other questions or comments? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes.
Item number 5, authorizing the supervisor to enter into agreements for 2015 special events.
Can I have a motion?
Moved.
And a second. Great, thank you. And again, this resolution allows the supervisor to enter into agreements. This is relative to the special events earlier this year. Actually, in December of last year, we passed a resolution authorizing a special events calendar. And here before the board are all the contracts relative to being able to implement those special events. And at the workshop meeting last week, the town board was able to view and consider each of the contracts that are included here as an addendum here to your packet, but the town board had access and viewed all those contracts. So big thank you, though, to our staff in the Recreation Bureau and our special events staff for all the hard work. This is a lot of different contracts, a lot of different vendors go into putting on these special events. There's a lot of work that goes into the Winter Fest, the Farmers Markets, the 4th of July Festival that's coming up in here in just a couple of weeks. And so we're very proud of all the work that they do. So with that, any other questions or comments? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion carries.
Item number 6, authorizing the supervisor to enter into agreements with vendors for recreational programs and summer camp programs.
Have a motion?
Moved.
And a second.
Second.
Thank you. And again, just like the previous resolution, this resolution authorizes me to enter into contracts for our recreation programs and summer camps. Again, these contracts were viewed and considered by the town board at our workshop meeting last week. And these go to our ability to be able to offer the first-class recreation programs we've been talking about here for the last probably 6 or 7 months or so. As I discussed just a couple weeks ago at the State of the Town address, our recreation programs have never been stronger. We have record participation, record numbers of folks signing up, kids signing up for our summer camps. I know we're very excited to get those started here very soon, as soon as school gets out. And again, also the number of programs that we're offering has increased as well. So the Recreation Bureau, I think, is off and running, is off to a really great start this year with our record turnout. So I want to, again, thank you, Bob, and Katrina and Meredith and the whole staff down there for putting all these programs together. And if you haven't signed up yet, there's still time. So you can go right to our website and you can sign up there at home for our summer camps. Any other questions or comments from the board? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Item number 7, authorizing the revision of McAvoy Park rental fee schedule.
Can I have a motion?
Moved.
In a second.
Second.
Great, thank you. And again, this resolution modifies a resolution we passed, I believe it was last month, by clarifying the definition of youth for our fee purposes, as well as making a few small reforms to the fee structure to be able to offer better rates for our various youth sports teams that desire to use McAvoy Field. So, with that, any questions or comments? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Item number 8, authorizing the supervisor to accept the Department of Labor Hazard Abatement Board grant.
Can I have a motion?
Moved.
In a second?
Second.
Thank you. Bob?
Yes, sir. This resolution would accept $10,000 worth of funding from the New York State Department of Labor. This funding would then be used for safety training for our community service staff, DPW, Parks and Rec, for any and all safety training on equipment or new policies and procedures that OSHA or PESH come out with. So it authorizes us to accept that money, and then we would incur expenses and then via voucher system be reimbursed by the state of New York.
Great. Thanks, Bob. Any other questions or comments from the board? No? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Resolution passes.
Item number 9, authorizing fund balance transfers to finance 2015 capital improvement program projects as stated in the 2015-2020 CIP.
Can I have a motion?
So moved.
In a second.
Second.
Thank you. Annie, would you just mind giving us a brief description of the resolution?
This resolution is to transfer funds from fund balance for work on the playgrounds and recreation CIP that's part of our annual CIP package. There will be a number of fund balance transfers for the CIP program. All of our CIP projects for the 2015 year will be funded via fund balance. We're not going to the bond market for any of them. So as the programs commence, we will make transfers regarding the various projects. And this, again, is $108,600 and is the balance that's required for the playgrounds and recreation capital improvement project.
Great, thanks, Annie. And again, the town, because we're in such a strong financial position, we're able to fund some of these projects, these capital projects that we approved last year through the fund balance that we have, as opposed to going to the bond market, which is a really good thing. It's in the long run, it's cheaper and more cost-effective for our town residents. And so this fund transfer goes to pay for the playground recreation projects that we've talked about, particularly the Vinton Road, Spezio Park playgrounds that I know that the neighborhoods are real excited about, and for some of our pocket parks around town, they're getting some upgrades. So that's the areas these are going for. Any other questions or comments?
Oh, I think a lot of people in the town will notice when they go out to play.
That's right. And we have a lot of projects around town this year for from the senior center parking lot, the playgrounds, all the roads that are under construction, the splash pad, all these things. So there's a lot of great new improvements to a lot of our recreational facilities this year as well. So I'm real happy about that. Seeing nothing else, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Item number 10, authorizing the permanent appointment of an animal control officer.
Can I have a motion?
So moved.
And a second?
Second.
Thank you. And Scott Donahue serves as an animal control officer for the town of Arundecoy in a provisional position, and he has taken the test and scored in a reachable position, so we're able to make a permanent appointment for Scott to the board. Any questions or comments? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Item number 11, authorizing the promotion to police sergeant in the Arundecoy Police Department.
Can I have a motion?
Moved.
And a second?
Who seconded?
Second.
Okay.
We're not competing with Sealy today.
Yeah, right, sir. Okay, with a motion and a second. Chief, can I call on you to give a description of the resolution, please?
This is to backfill a vacancy that currently exists within the Arundequoit Police Department. And after an extensive selection process, we're recommending Officer Jessica Franco for this promotion. Officer Franco has been a police officer for 10 years and has an extensive background in road patrol procedures, criminal investigations, narcotics investigations, and impaired driving enforcement. She's conducted numerous felony-level investigations, implemented investigative strategies that have subsequently ended with the suspect being arrested. In addition to those arrests, she's very good at obtaining voluntary statements from subjects who were responsible for these offenses. She's prepared, applied for, and submitted legally sound search warrant applications that have been approved by the court, and she has established an excellent rapport with victims, witnesses, and the suspects that she ultimately has arrested. She comes to us with extensive experience in the narcotics field as a member of the Greater Rochester Narcotics Enforcement Unit. She developed an extensive skill set in that area and responds to quality of life issues pertinent to drug-related issues as a patrol officer with the Arundequoit Police Department. She has served as an undercover narcotics officer for a period of time. She's conducted numerous surveillance details and operations and has developed case elements to successfully close an investigation with the arrest of the perpetrators and suppliers of illegal drugs. As a road patrol officer, she has served as a field training officer and has a high level of demonstrated performance in all aspects of road patrol duties. She has been rated within the top tier in her platoon performance standards for the past several years. She's a highly decorated officer, has been recognized by the Monroe County Stop DWI program for her efforts in 2011, 2012, 2013, and 2014. She was a recipient of the New York State Mothers Against Drunk Driving Individual Law Enforcement Officer Award in 2009. She has been awarded the Excellent Police Service Award in the Arundequoit Police Department in 2010, 2012, and 2013. Those awards stemmed from drug-related investigations, a number of felony investigations that she was working on, as well as 2 independent investigations where homicide suspects were identified and subsequently turned over to the Rochester Police Department where those offenses had occurred. She was the Officer of the Month in May 2011, February 2012, and January of 2013. Her best testament, I believe, comes from the letters that are submitted to the Chief of Police by the residents in this community. And I'm going to quote some of the statements that have been given. I want to commend Officer Franco for her due diligence required to apprehend John Valerio and his real estate scam. Officer Franco went above and beyond to bring resolve to this case. Another resident wrote, I want to thank Officer Franco for her outstanding assistance in bringing to halt the recent fraudulent misuse of my identity. And then another resident writes, I want to thank the IPD for their service. During the investigation, Officer Franco followed up with phone calls and in person throughout the inquiry. So a testament to her duties, responsibilities, and dedication to this community. And after an extensive selection process, we highly recommend her for this position.
Thank you, Chief. Was there any other comments or questions from the board? No. Seeing none. Thank you, Chief, for the recommendation. And seeing no other questions or comments, I'd ask all those in favor to say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. And Officer Franco is here. I'd ask her to please stand, and congratulations. I had an opportunity to see Officer Franco on my ride-along a couple weeks ago with the police, and so I could see firsthand a little bit about how she conducts herself in the field, and I know she's going to do a fantastic job as a leader in our police department, so congratulations.
Item number 12, authorizing the promotion of a police officer to investigator in the Arundequoit Police Department.
Can I have a motion?
Moved.
And a second?
Second.
Chief.
After a very intensive selection process with myself, Captain Ryan, and Sergeant Mark Bean, who's in charge of the Criminal Investigation Unit, We are recommending Officer Andrew Wigton for this promotional opportunity. Officer Wigton's been a police officer since 2008, and he is an exceptional police officer. He's got a very strong investigative background. He's conducted numerous felony-level investigations, and much like Officer Franco, has been able to do so with great rapport with both suspects, victims, and witnesses. He has developed and implemented numerous investigative strategies that resulted in successful resolutions of these offenses. He's well respected by his peers and members of the criminal justice system. He's a highly decorated police officer and has numerous commendations. A couple that I will mention is that he received the Commendation Award for the LaCandace Miles homicide investigation and subsequent arrest when we located our suspect in Chicago, Illinois, and Andrew was an integral part of that investigation. He was also awarded a Commendation Award for a robbery investigation that he was the lead officer in. And in 2014, he was awarded the Irondequoit Police Officer of the Year Award. I highly recommend Officer Wigton for this position and present his name for consideration tonight.
Thanks, Chief. Any other questions or comments from the board? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. And Officer Wigton is here today. I'd ask you to stand up and congratulations. Officer Wigton is a well-respected member of our force, and I know he's going to do a fantastic job. Congratulations.
Item number 13, authorizing the appointment of a member to the Deferred Compensation Committee.
Can I have a motion?
Moved.
And a second.
Second.
Thank you. And again, this is a appointment. We're putting forward the name of Jason Vanette. He is serving in the role of our HR director. And historically, our HR director serves on the Deferred Compensation Committee to review the way our deferred compensation funds are being invested annually. So we'll put forward the name of Jason Vanette. Any questions or comments? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Item number 14, pursuant to the State Environmental Quality Review Act with respect to purchase and sale agreement for 2180 East Ridge Road.
Have a motion.
So
Moved.
moved.
And a second?
Second.
All right. The motion and a second. I'd like to ask Kathy Spencer from LaBelle Associates to give us a presentation on the seeker.
Okay, good evening, Town Board members and Supervisor. We did review the action proposed by the Town Board to enter a purchase and sale agreement for the transfer of ownership for the property at 2180 Ridge Road in accordance with the seeker regulations. I wanted to just note to you that we not only considered the sale of the property, but also its intended use based on what is known by the Town Board at this time as a upscale restaurant. But I would also point out that the eventual redevelopment of the property is not included in this seeker review, as the purchaser will have to get their plans together and decide what approvals they need, and that some future action, probably before the Planning Board or the Zoning Board of Appeals, will have to occur for them to get their approvals. So based on all that, the action before us tonight really has no ground disturbance and does not involve the physical alteration of the site or any of its natural resources. In accordance with the seeker regulations, we recommend the action be considered a unlisted action under seeker, and for that reason we prepared the short environmental assessment form. The potential impacts that were evaluated focused upon the intensity of the land use, zoning, traffic, consistency with the comprehensive plan, and that was the focus. I thought there was another one in there, but there's not. And in any case, we did not identify any significant adverse impacts on the environment when we looked at those issues. We reported on a detailed elaboration in the Part 3 environmental assessment form, and therefore we recommend to you to consider the issuance of a negative declaration tonight for this action.
Great. Thank you. Nick?
And just to clarify something that Kathy was saying there, is that this is actually, we'll be conducting an uncoordinated review, which means that each board will be doing their own seeker, and that's what Kathy meant by, so if they need a variance from the zoning board will do their own review. When they do their site plan, that will be the planning board's own review. Just to clarify for the board.
Thanks.
Thanks, Nick.
Okay, anybody have any questions or comments? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Item number 15, authorizing the purchase and sale agreement for 2180 East Ridge Road.
Can I have a motion?
So moved.
And a
Second.
Thank you. And this resolution is yet another step forward in the construction of our new centralized library. This, as was just discussed by Kathy and contemplated by the town board with our seeker resolution, this resolution speaks to the sale of the library on East Ridge Road. The resolution allows the town board to enter into a contract with John D. Matopoulos and Mark Chirienza for the sale of the library, to commence the due diligence period in order for the potential buyer to secure their approvals and financing, which, if successful, will lead to the ultimate sale of the library building in the coming months. So, like I said, this is the first step in a multi-month process in selling the building, which has been obviously central to the construction and the plan for the new central library. So this is good news. Any other questions or comments for the board?
No.
To commend you and your team on being proactive and moving forward and doing good negotiations to get us this far.
Great. Thanks,
You know,
Laura.
that and too, this was a big part of all our library discussions throughout our forums and everything, and it finally came that it's going to happen, which is a good sign that we can move forward and help out with the project as well.
Thank you. With that, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thanks, Fred.
Item number 16, authorizing the appointment of Director of Developmental Services at the Town of Arundequoit.
Can I have a motion?
Moved.
And a second.
Second.
Thank you. When I was first elected, I had made a commitment to the town residents to reorganize the town's Department of Development Services. And thanks to the leadership of Director Weatherby and the hard work of the dedicated men and women of Development Services, we've made great progress, and I'm terribly proud of their accomplishments. The resolution before the board tonight is because Mr. Weatherby is going to be leaving the town to pursue a new opportunity next month. In his role as Chief of Staff and Director of Development Services, Nick helped navigate our administration through last year's transition. He helped draft and work to implement our new troubled properties legislation, worked tirelessly on our efforts to hold the owner of Medley Center accountable to the town code and the pilot agreement. He helped to implement the reorganization that ultimately led to the renaming of the department to the Neighborhood and Business Development Department, transforming our focus to a more proactive approach to business recruitment and development that helped us to accomplish new far-reaching projects such as the completion of the Comprehensive Master Plan. Nick is also responsible in a big way for ushering the development and construction processes for the new Central Library. Anyone involved with the project from its inception knows just how dedicated and integral Nick had been to making this project happen. Nick is the point person for our new developments like Aldi's, Chipotle, Depot Plaza, and the ongoing I-Square, and has developed terrific reputations and relationships with our Chamber of Commerce, our town staff, and all our developers in town. And so he is certainly is going to leave big shoes to fill here at Town Hall, and he is definitely going to be sorely missed. But I'm pleased tonight to advance the name of Jeffrey McCann to fill this vacancy. I've known Jeff for over 10 years, and he brings with him a wealth of experience and knowledge of local, county, and state government. Jeff currently serves as Manager of Community Development for Monroe County, one of Monroe County's top development professionals, and has over 10 years' experience in town government, making him an ideal candidate to lead this critical department at this critical time. As we move forward on the redevelopment of the mall, the vacant home registry, further development of the mall, further development of our commercial corridors, and other important quality of life issues that are so vital to our residents. I have every confidence that he is the right candidate to lead this effort and fulfill the commitment we made to our residents to focus on the long-term development of our town. Do I have any other questions or comments from the board?
Thank you, Nick.
Yes, thank you, Nick. Nick, you did a great job. We will definitely miss you, and looking forward to this meeting I don't want to say your replacement, but meeting Jeff. But thank you, you really brought us a long way.
Well, on a personal note, I want to thank Nick. We worked a lot together on the library. Nick always said it was like working with his uncles, so I guess I'll take that as a compliment. As long as he likes all his uncles. But, there's been for a department to have such an impact, and you could see changes on what's going on in the town over the last 15 or 16 months, whatever's been. You could see it immediately, and I want to thank Nick again and his staff for really doing a heck of a job in the last short period of time. And I can only wish Nick a lot of luck, and on a personal note, thanks, Nick.
I'd be lying if I could say I keep it together right now, but I do like my uncles, and I've been a tremendous honor to work for this town board, and a particular pleasure to work for Adam, who's a dear friend, and I will miss you guys. Thank you.
Thank you, Nick. And again, we're like a family around here at Town Hall, so it's like losing a member of your family. And so I just want to thank Nick for his service here. He's got big shoes to fill, but we're going to fill them, and he's going to be sorely missed. And just by speaking to his staff, I know he did a tremendous job. So thank you. All right. With that, all those in favor say aye.
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 I just had one question.
Yeah. Oh, sure.
Before we vote. Is the salaries remaining flat?
Yes. This is a net zero to the town.
Okay,
Yep. The salary will remain the same.
Just
Sorry.
wanted to
Yep.
know the detail.
Got it. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
Item number 17, approving the special event license for the Rochester Regional Health System Wellness Center's Heart and Soul 5K Run. The run is going to take place on September 12th. This is a partnership with the town and Oktoberfest and the Regional Health System, and it's a fundraiser for cardiac care.
Fantastic. Thank you, Barbara. Is there a motion?
Moved.
And a second?
Second.
Any other questions or comments from the board? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. That was the last item on our agenda. But before I let you go, I am going to go through. We have, as the summer months are approaching here and school's about to get out, we have a number of town events and events happening around town. So I'm going to go through them. For those of you at home, we'll hopefully be able to put some graphics up there as well to help you through all these. But coming up on June 19th and 20th, that's tomorrow and Saturday, from 9 a.m. to 3 o'clock, the Winona Woods Neighborhood Association is hosting a yard sale. Again, that's back in the Winona Woods neighborhood off of St. Paul Boulevard, the 19th and 20th from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. On June 23rd, the first concert of the summer concert series with the Irondequoit Concert Band will be held. It's normally on Sunday afternoons at 7:15 in the gazebo. On June 25th, the Farmers Market from 4 to 8 o'clock. The gazebo on June 25th, the Farmers Market from 4 to 8 o'clock. The gazebo concert series will feature the John Lewis Band. Also on June 25th, the Movies Under the Stars. Our first movie of the season is going to be The Sandlot. It will start at dusk, right around 8:30. There will be a bounce house here right before the movie, so you can bring your kids to the bounce house and hopefully come stay. I know a lot of folks I went to school with are going to be here, so it was a good movie from our childhood. So The Sandlot, again, next Thursday at 8:30. On June 28th, from 7:30 to 11 o'clock in the morning, the Gators swim team youth summer burst triathlon will be held at Eastridge. Again, the Gators is sponsoring the summer burst triathlon at Eastridge High School, June 28th from 7:30 to 11 in the morning. Also on June 28th, again, the summer concert series, the Johnny Matt Band is going to play at 2:30 in the gazebo. On June 30th, the concert and ice cream social at the Living Water Fellowship Church is at 7:15. On July 4th, the town will kick off our annual 4th of July Festival. It will start at 11 o'clock, on July 3rd, and the street dance and youth performance will begin at 7 o'clock. On July 4th, the parade will begin at 11 o'clock from Arundecoit High School. This year, we're adding 2 new features to the 4th of July celebration. Immediately following the parade here on the grounds at Town Hall, right from the front steps, we will have the reading of the Declaration of Independence. It should be a cool event, so please come. We have some local dignitaries and some youth from our community are going to recite the Declaration of Independence, which I think is a great way to honor the holiday. So again, this is going to be immediately following the parade. And then also at 2 o'clock, again, this is going to be fun, the hot dog eating contest. Right on the grandstand, up on the road, red, white, and chew. So we're going to have white hots, don't worry, they're skinless, at 2 o'clock. Right here, there's still chances to register. We're looking for about 10 participants, up to 10, who can see how many hot dogs you can eat. It's a charity event sponsored by the Arundecoit Kiwanis, with proceeds going to various local charities. So come show us what you have. Don't be shy and come sign up. And then, of course, at 9:30, our fireworks. The festival will be throughout the full day, featuring performance artists, food, music, crafts, and again, all those new activities for the kids that we have from the petting zoo, the pony rides, will be here as well on the 4th as a new aerial acrobatic display. So we have some great new activities, so please come out to the 4th of July this year. A few more. On July 9th, the Farmers Market again from 4 to 8. The Gazebo Concert Series, Julie Dunlap, will begin at 6 p.m. And our next movie under the stars, July 9th, will be Alexander and the Terrible, Horrible, No Good, Very Bad Day. I haven't seen it, but I heard it's fantastic, despite its name. It's going to start around 8:30, or again, right around sundown. That's on July 9th. Also on July 9th at 4 o'clock is our Town Board Workshop. And on July 12th, another of our summer concert series at 2:30 here, the Jack Allen Big Band will be playing. So you can see we're ramping up for our summer schedule. Lots of great activities, lots of concerts, farmers markets, our movies under the stars. Lots to do. For more information, you can go to www.arundecoit.org. And if you have events that you'd like listed on the town's event calendar, please do not hesitate to email what's happening at arundecoit.org. We'll put it on the calendar, and I might just announce it at the next town board meeting. So feel free to email us at what's happening at arundecoit.org. With that, that's our agenda. Can I have a motion to adjourn? And a second?
Second.
Motion by Lori, a second by Nicole. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. We are adjourned.
We hope you enjoyed this presentation of the Arundecoit Town Board on ICAT 12, Arundecoit's government access channel.